What's going on, traders? I don't want to be making this video today, but it's day number 8 of the $1,000 account challenge, and I've got another red day. Logged in the account. Before it was up $1,035, now $1,009. $23 loss today. I took 3 trades. Let me walk you through it. First trade was on AMD. Looked great, just didn't work. It was a short idea into the gap area for the gap fill down to about 101. So here's what we get. An opening sell-off that continues to sell. A green to red move on the break of the previous day's closing price, which happens right here. And then a pennant breakdown, which happens right here. Now, the better entry, the best entry, maybe what I should have done was just mark it by this breakdown right here. Because had I did that, I would have been in on the move from here down to the low of day, and it would have been profitable. But my fear was, since the gap area started at 102.6, that I wanted to see the entry into the gap. I didn't want to see it hold the top side of the gap as support. So I needed confirmation first. So once the stock enters into the gap area, I'm like, great, that serves as our confirmation. I take the entry short on the rally retest of the top side of the gap, looking for the follow through back down. We don't get it. Of course not. It rallies back up, and I made the decision to cut the trade when it doesn't hold the top of the gap as a point of resistance. And this was ultimately the right choice because the stock has since pretty much ran all the way back to the high of day, V-shaped reversal. If I'm not cutting this trade here, look at what I'm caught in, right? So it was totally the right decision to cut that trade. Booked about a $13 loss there. Next trade was on Boeing. It was an up gapper and a range breakout on the daily due to a positive reaction to a news catalyst. Now, this one I feel like I did make a mistake on. So I waited for the rally up, not chasing the move. Then it enters into chop. I'm not entering in the chop. What I did here was I did kind of chase the move because I took the entry on the break of the high of day there, thinking we were just going to get follow through up to the pre-market highs. It doesn't happen. Instead, what I should have done was taken the entry on the break here, and I probably could have been profiting all the way up to here and then taking my profits. But instead, by taking this late entry up here, I put myself at risk of a further pullback than what I could really handle in the account. So the only way to manage this trade that I saw was to average into it. So I used 170 as a stop loss area, averaged into the trade down here, really close to 170. We get the move up. I'm thinking it's going to work from here. I'm pretty close to break even at this point because adding down here did a lot for my cost basis. But the next thing you know, we just get a dump candle. I couldn't handle that kind of drop, so I wound up cutting the trade on this candle here. It actually wasn't as low as that arrow is. It was closer to the top of this candle. I mean, pretty much the moment that this started to reject, I went ahead and closed it. So I booked about another $10 loss there, which puts me down $23 on the day. And I'm really pissed off about this trade because it did do exactly what I thought it was going to do, which is hold 170 as support, break the downtrend trend line, and then rally up to the high of day. Had I held through, this would have been a profitable trade and would have been enough to put me green on the day. But by booking that loss on AMD earlier, I really couldn't afford a whole lot of risk on Boeing not working. So I had to cut this after the ad, the moment that it rejected making a higher high and continuing up to the top side there. Now, my next and final trade was on SPY, and this actually wasn't a bad trade, though I was just a little late to the party here. SPY was a long idea above 564, but because I was in the other trades, I wasn't paying attention to SPY, so the better entry would have been enter on the pullback retest of 564. Could have entered down here, but because I was in those other trades and focusing on those, I wasn't paying much attention to SPY. So when we do get the high of day break here, I decided that this is going to be your point of resistance, should validate as a point of support, take the entry off the dip there, get the move up into the high of day, and again, just looking for follow through. Too late to the party, we don't get it. Fortunately though, I got enough of a dip entry here that when this did pull back, I was able to close the trade out for break even. So I mean, technically a loss. I'm paying commission fees on this, but nothing significant to add to the losses that I already had. So it's a red day for me. Not good. Down $23 on the day. Not what I wanted to see here. Not the video I wanted to be making. This type of loss is double the amount of the daily limit that I've set for myself. I don't want to be losing more than $10 per day, but I also don't want to be limiting myself to one trade if that one trade winds up being a $10 loss. My video yesterday was about the power of persistence and how I was able to take a red day and turn it to a green day. That absolutely would have happened today on Boeing if I was able to hold through this position rather than cut it. So I'm not totally upset because the risk was still managed on both trades. It was a $10 loss here and a $13 loss there. But I am a bit frustrated that I'm not getting wins back to back to back to be able to build that profit margin up in this account to a point where I can start taking on more risk. Because at this point with this amount, one more loss and I'm back dipping down into my initial investment of $1,000. So I just got to be more careful moving forward from here and maybe stop being so conservative. You know, on the AMD trade, if I had a little more conviction, I just would have went short on the breakdown here. Or on the SPY trade, had I been watching it and had conviction, I just would have went long on the dip right here. But by being too patient, I think it cost me some money today. At any rate, we're going to trust the process and let the numbers work out for us in the long run. It's just a slow start in the beginning, but I want to thank you for staying patient with me. I hope today's video has helped you out, and I will see you tomorrow when we continue the $1,000 account challenge. Cheers.